Hello friends, today we'll talk about whether PLCC communication is possible without Wavetrap or not, and also a transmission line having PLCC communication without Wavetrap, what will happen. If we see the block diagram, we'll see at the top it is written the transmission of power or energy, and the below it is written transmission of data, speech and protection signal. That is, transport of electrical energy is done from switchyard to switchyard, that is station A switchyard to station B switchyard, but the transmission of data, speech and protection will be communicated from substation A control room to substation B control room. I have already made a video on how PLCC works in a substation. If we see the block diagram, we can see from the transmission line PLCC signals first faces the CVT or coupling capacitor. So the PLCC signals will be absorbed by the CVTs first rather than going to Wavetrap. Wavetraps are provided in the transmission lines to restrict the residual communication high frequency signals from entering into the substation equipment part. So if there will not be any Wavetrap in a transmission line, then the residual communication signals that will not be absorbed by CVT that will pass on to the substation equipments. So the substation equipments which have grounding system like transformer, reactor, potential transformer will face the problem of harmonics, as the high frequency communication signal will act as harmonics for this kind of equipments. There will be another problem due to the non-availability of Wavetrap, that will be if a substation is having another line without Wavetrap, then the communication signal from one line which is not having Wavetrap will enter into the substation, and again it will pass on to the next line which is also not having the Wavetrap. So the communication signal from one line will interfere with the communication signal of the other line, and that way it may create problem. Other than that, without Wavetrap, substation can run and PLCC communication also may run.